will now know for a fact that this is going to be solo support Abathur. Mindfreak is doing something that has been considered experimental as a counter. People have been experimenting with Sylvanas as a hard counter to Abathur. And the reason is pretty simple. You can fall behind pre-10 with an Abathur comp relatively easily. Especially if it's an Abathur with an actual support. But this is solo support Abathur. This is not Abathur with a support. And because it's HHE, the assumption should be this is Abathur with support. Oh, so Sylvanas just dies to Genji with a hat. So drafting Sylvanas into Genji, even if Sylvanas is theoretically a counter to Abathur, not solo support Abathur, but just Abathur comps specifically. So I don't like this draft from Mindfreak. I don't really understand what the Arthas is doing either. So, interesting draft from Mindfreak. This is essentially offlane Brightwing with double support, which I do kind of like. That's my favorite thing about the draft. But I'm not a fan of a lot. Dig looked a bit shaky in game one. It honestly looked like Dig had not warmed up. Like straight up, it looked like Dig just hadn't warmed up, which is a thing. It does happen. So going into game one, left-hand side of the map, we do have Heroes Hearth Esports, McIntyre on Blaze, BBJ on that Solo Sport Abathur, Crone on Genji, Ishbu on Anubrak, one of his favorite heroes, by the way, and Homicidal, new to the HHE squad, on Li Ming. Did an interview, said he just didn't want to be a burden, and he's not. Very good player. On the right-hand side of the map, we do have Mindfreak, Ryu on Arthas, John on Sylvanas, Mad Hacks on Uther, Vanilla on Greymane, and Fat94, one of my personally favorite players, honestly, on Brightwing. Yes, HHE runs Solo Sport Abathur on literally every map. They are comfortable with it everywhere. So as soon as you see the Abathur, you should be like, that's Solo Sport Abathur. There's not even a Thrall in this game, so I don't even know what you guys are. Oh, you're talking about Rich. Again, I have not watched those games. I will be watching them from the replay. If there's any interest, I will actually strongly consider watching all of the games on stream. What happened to Arth1? He quit. So this is surprising to me. Ryu actually offlaning top while all of the damage is bottom. I think that they have more push and more kill pressure this way with the early game Greymane Sylvanas combo, and they're not going to die because they have the double support. But I don't like it. I don't like a team not having a tank. Crone, meanwhile, doing the standard meta Genji strat on BoE. By the way, if you're a Genji on BoE, you should do this 100% of the time. That is a dead fountain. It really hurts your ability to tap during Immortal phase, having to go all the way to a keep. And in fact, all of these fountains, the outer fountains, you can kill them from over the walls as well as Genji. Because you can Q for vision, auto attack twice, Q for vision, auto attack twice, and Q for vision. You can do that here, and you can do that here. And you can't actually do it here, unfortunately. On some keeps, the fountain is far enough away that you can actually, from the turrets, you can D over the wall, snipe it, and then E out. But many fountains in the game are snipeable if you're a good Genji player. So something to think about. This is a very neutral laning phase so far in the game. We do actually see the top tower was eventually taken out. Ishbu is just really looking for the engage here. He's just trying to see, and actually Crone goes without any sort of initiation from Ishbu. And Crone takes a lot of free damage there, but he will be able to get healed up relatively quickly by the Abathur hat. And meanwhile, Mindfreak moves down, starts the camp. Doing camps with the Sylvanas is actually very advantageous because you take no free damage. Normally, you would bait a camp like, oh, they've taken some damage at least. But especially with double support, just 0 damage taken there. And Matt Hacks, the only focus target, does manage to get some damage on himself. Silver Touch plus Holy Shock, not the build we're used to seeing. Normally we do see the Hammer build coming out. We do see Holy Shock at 4 all the time for double support Uther because it does give you a little bit more burst onto your focus target, and it allows Uther to sort of play frontline, play tank, sustain himself up. but we don't normally see Silver Touch. But it is going to be full Q build. And we're going to see a huge E. A lot of pressure immediately onto John. He does manage to E away. Ishbu extremely low, lives with 63 health. The Abathur hat plus his own shield is enough there. 63 health. And not even close, really, is what I was trying to say. Crone, meanwhile, going ham in the backline. Does get the reset. The poly is not enough. 4-man jet propulsion from McIntyre. And they just walk away. This is an example, I think, of just getting outbuttoned. Generally, in double support, things like that should not happen, but Mindfreak not use their cooldowns optimally. They clumped a little bit. HHE managed to exploit a lot of mistakes there. And they're actually going to get some free damage here. Beatles doing their best. And they're going to have to win this fight more than once, unfortunately, because of how poor their race is. They do huge jet propulsion. And even the Immortal getting in on the action with the stun follow-up. Everyone's just so extremely low. Mindfreak retreats in good order, though. They're all together here, which means it's very difficult for HHE to step up and actually isolate a target away. Those who have tap, and this is actually one of the situations where syncing up your taps could have been very helpful because everyone would have had it. But instead, some people have to tap, some people have to back. And the way their comp works, everyone kind of has to be together. Uther does not back for mana, even though he had the opportunity to do so because Ryu did. And they actually managed to force halftime as a result. As long as no one dies here, that was going to end up being really good for them. And as I say that, Fat94 retreats on a different path, gets caught out, and ends up going down. Oof. Mindfreak not racing at all. They see the race happening, they see the damage happening, so they know that the damage can be split. But because of the death, because they had to back, this is one of those things where we want to check, does Fat have the Z cooldown? He does not, so he will not be able to dive in and heal here. And despite everything, HHE does barely manage to win the Immortal, not by very much. But it's a huge deal they did because, of course, with the Sylvanas, it's quite possible that Mindfreak would have gotten a huge amount of value, an above average amount of value from the Immortal itself, especially with that Greymane. And even the side soak going in the favor of HHE, they are half a level ahead. We do see Brightwing moving to the top. BBJ going to match that with his body. We do need the hat bottom for the healing from any sort of poke that's going on, which Sylvanas has a reasonable amount of W poke. Did not go for W build though. Withering Barrage is the pickup at 1. That's going to give more race with Barb Shot and Windrunner at 7 and 13 respectively. Vanilla actually being very aggressive in the way he steps up here to clear the Immortal, but the entire fort ends up going down for Mindfreak. That's an above average amount of value from that first Immortal. That's more than they really wanted to give away, especially since it didn't have a shield. But the threat from HHE was, I guess, too great. They didn't feel like they had the potential to step up there. Getting their bruisers early, it looks like Mindfreak is going to do some sort of push attempt with the Sylvanas. You wouldn't normally get bruisers this early, and HHE actually looking for the invade. They must have had in mind there that they didn't see, giving them vision, knowing that was happening. And again, one of the advantages of Abathur, you have these mines everywhere, so much vision, so much can be exploited. And Fat should start heading bottom, looking for this soak. We can see he's starting to do that already. Abathur hat was already bottom, catching that soak. You can see they're trying to focus the Shaman down. The Shaman does get pushed up and taken down by the towers again. Consistently happening this game. Looks like there are tricks to manipulate the wave to make that happen. McIntyre having jet propulsion out, just wants to catch the soak. And again, Ryu's job. Ryu is also mine hunting, it looks like. He's making sure these mines get triggered by Z. But he's the one catching soak consistently, and I just don't know if I want the only frontliner to be doing that. You know, we've seen Uther tank before, technically, but Uther can't really ward 100% safely. He can't initiate. He's not that mobile. He's not. The range on his stun is quite short. So HHE has the option, if they choose to play for 10 here. They are going to be able to get this camp out. And that's going to have to be responded to. And no one is bottom. It looks like they might be going for another Sylvanas push. Greymane stepping up. John staying mounted. Does W, trying to get that spread damage, and Cleanse coming out. They're all out of here, and Fat 94 is going to get a huge heal onto Vanilla. But that means, again, no one's bottom, and now this camp is pushing uncontested. HHE will be able to get 10 here. BBJ prioritizing the soak again with the Abathur hat, making sure he does get that. And it looks like Mindfreak is going to move to race. If they force HHE to engage here, you know, HHE gets 1 kill, locks 10, and they get a huge wipe. 10 is here. Time to go. Mad Hacks will not be able to go with them, unfortunately. It is time for him to die. And with the cocoon, the pings, here, let's go. Oh, that timing! Crone with the combo getting thrown out before the cocoon actually expires. McIntyre with the jet propulsion. Beautiful, beautiful timing from all of them. That was a super deletion and a half. And Ryu and Fat now catching the soak. Neither of them have wave clear, really. I don't know why they both need to be there. John, body soaking the top lane. Doesn't want to show. I actually appreciate the vision control because he doesn't see, but all the damage is clearly on the Immortal, so you should just be actively clearing the lane. Not playing around vision, not playing around the invisible information that the map is giving. Does check the bush, I kind of like that. And this is going to be pushing top, and they're set up correctly for this, in my opinion. Having Fat bottom is really important. They can get 10. I don't know if they want to fight past or if they want to just defend. There's pros and cons to each. It looks like Ishbu is looking for the flank here, though, so it looks Mindfreak's indecisiveness and they're just clumping, not prepping for what's going to happen next. Is going to leave them in a position where they don't have a choice. They just simply have to defend. They don't get the option of potentially looking for any kind of flank. And Vanilla getting heavily pressured here. Fat 94 already coming in. This is now a 5v5 or 5v4, and because it's a 5v4, HHE is going to wait a little bit. If they do choose to fight, they're going to make sure everyone is topped off from hat and then go in with the clone. Beautiful jet propulsion. Huge damage. Fat 94 immediately with the Emerald Wind for the self peel. And Ryu, very low, but does pop Army. Should be able to get that up. That's also going to interfere with Leeming shots. And they see Army pop. They're like, okay, that's good enough. They did burn Cocoon, but they did not burn anything else. Once Arthas pops Army, Leeming is less effective in teamfights. I'm not going to say she loses all her effectiveness, but she's a lot less effective in teamfights because the Army ends up eating a lot of her shots. She essentially wastes mana to kill summons. Not ideal. HG instead going to move down, gets that tower that was damage was put on earlier, basically for free, and is going to back up. HG just doing chip damage wherever they can. They want fast, decisive fight, so if they don't know for a fact they can get that fast, decisive fight with a significant vision advantage, they're going to do it. McIntyre popping trait for the camp. This is, by the way, just a pro Blaze tip. Trait has a really short cooldown if you're consistently hitting your Q on enemy heroes. You can pop trait just for wave clear, just for camp clear. And it looks like HHE again looking for the invite or invade with. They are not invited. This is an invade. They do not manage to get the camp again. Enough zoning by Ryu. Ishbu was not entirely sure when the game was going to be finished. Did not want to E onto the point and burn his only potential escape. You have to be really conservative with your E as an Anubrak in an Abathur comp because sometimes you'll have to use it to go out instead of going to go in. And that was the case there. They weren't 100% certain. They wanted a hard commit to that. But they clear the camp, and they're actually going to be able to get the chip damage here. They see bottom. The moment they see everyone bottom, they're like, great, they're bottom. We can get some chip damage here. And look how disciplined they are in terms of backing up. But McIntyre is going to be like, hold my beer, I got this. And he does clear that last little bit of HP off that tower, getting even more experience.
Repent before my wrath, demon.
And again, they have the Immortal, like Mindfreak has the Immortal comp. They have the comp where they have to race. Beautiful cleanse coming onto Ryu here. Is going to get a full heal, nearly a full heal from Brightwing as well. Emerald Wind, oof, wasted there. I think they thought HHE would be committing harder than they actually ended up doing. And the split, unfortunately, Ryu is off on his own. And HHE chases two different directions, so not ideal. BBJ, the clone, is going to end up going down. That is kind of a net win. They essentially traded Army and Emerald Wind for the clone, but without clone, It's far more risky for HHE, and HHE didn't get anything out of that despite fighting up with a talent tier advantage. So overall, considering the position Mindfreak's in, that was about as good as they could have wished for. And again, they see the damage happening. The moment you see the damage happening, you need to... Transition happens for free for HHE. Ooh, they actually get a catch onto McIntyre. Nope, not going to be enough. Immediately cocooning the Uther, diving into the backline. Big willing arrow, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. And go for the throat actually dodged by X-Strike. Crowing the god Genji. Don't get to see that every day, but on a low ping environment, we're going to be seeing plays like that all BlizzCon. Whew, that feels bad. Trading go for the throat for X-Strike, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I traded, but then you die afterwards. You're not in such a happy frame of mind. Huge wave top. BBJ, are you on it? Are you on it? Are you on it? Nope. Okay. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there is a visual bug with clone that does not always show the cooldown. Unfortunately, that's just a thing. Makes it a little bit harder to cast. We're fine. We're not a professional cast anyway, so we don't care that much. And this is absolutely the correct... Oh. Mindfreak has to fight past the Immortal. There's no way that they can take this fight. But not everyone's here. And if it's just Ryu here, he's actually not in a great position. Immediately is forced to pop Army just to make sure that he doesn't get focused down by the Li Ming. Divine Shield baited early here. They no longer have these really impactful, important cooldowns. The cleanse coming out for John so that he can actually get his E off and get out of here, but he should end up going down. He does end up going down to the clone. X-Strike killing off two more. Beautiful jet propulsion from McIntyre to set that up. The double Genji going so deep, and as the clone dies, that just means the hat is back. That should be game going over to HHE. They should be able to end here on core. Visible disagreement in comms about what the decision should be from Mindfreak, in my opinion, which you cannot have at this level of play. Plays need to be decisive and clear and agreed upon by everyone. But classy bunker. At the end. What do I think of EVA upgrade? EVA upgrade is completely overshadowed by Hive Mind. There's nothing wrong with evolution as an upgrade. If you were evaluating it in a vacuum, the power level of the talent would be fine. But you can't. The problem with Evo upgrade is it's not Hive Mind. That is exactly correct. All right. No one saw that. All right. Mindfreak versus Hero Thrust Esports Game 2. Mindfreak has a cheesy combo. They have the kidnap combo. I actually like Medivh Kerrigan. I like Medivh Malf because Malf arguably is the best counter to Medivh in terms of rooting portals. Heroes with Esports has Army or Syndragosa, either one, as an option to save someone who does get kidnapped, because you can pop Army or pop Syndragosa to sort of make either Army tanks the towers or Syndragosa shuts the towers off. Either way, you're in good shape. Johanna, very hard to hook. Tassadar, very hard to hook. So I feel like in the later part of the draft, Heroes Hearth like responded to what Mindfreak was doing once they knew what they were doing. But oh, that's not the problem. The problem is that I have to click on show results to see game 2. Like I'll show you guys what the issue is here. So this is game 1, right? Where's game 2? I actually can't click on the link for game 2 without showing spoilers for game 1. See, it's not there. Yeah, if I click the show button, wait. See what happens? I guess technically it doesn't matter that you guys see the win-loss because I've already casted that game, and then I can click on this. Okay, that's better. That way I don't have to clip scenes. That's fair. Normally I don't browse the site with spoilers off, so I don't know how that works. It's actually a good tip. Thank you. You hate Kerrigan and Gul'dan together? Uh, that's fair. The absence of burst, but the problem is they just needed so much wave clear. Like, I guess Kerrigan has wave clear, but Kerrigan's going to be in the off lane. Citrus has the third best wave clear with slam build of any tank, but it's still like not great. This could have been a Jaina though, or a Kael'thas. I would have been actually okay with either one of those, but they wanted as much wave clear as possible. Yeah, moving into the game. On the left hand side, we have Ishbu on Arthas. We have Hami on Homicidal, on Tassadar. McIntyre on Arthas. Crone rocking that Vala, and BBJ on Tron. On the right hand side of the map, we do have Mindfreak. John on Gul'dan. Fat 94. Wait, what? Fat 94 on Stitches. Blowing my mind. Mad Hacks on Malfurion. Ryu on Kerrigan. Is Kerrigan an offlaner now? Kerrigan can offlane. I'm not going to say Kerrigan is an offlaner. There's more to be evaluated there, but Kerrigan can offlane. When she got reworked, Kerrigan could tank, offlane, and hypercarry. Oof. McIntyre with the root over the wall, but beautiful protected going down on Naru. And it's hard to evaluate her since the nerfs if she can still do all of those things. Beautiful portals. This is actually the... Medivh does not give you a wave clear advantage, but he gives you a rotational advantage. He makes your rotations faster. He makes it so you don't have to mount. You just portal from here to here, instantly clear the wave. But unfortunately, not enough. And meanwhile, in bottom lane, McIntyre just straight up 1v1 Kerrigan. And this is why I didn't know this yesterday, but I've since talked to people. And apparently, Kerrigan is being used as an offlaner. And Arthas is a very favorable matchup into Kerrigan. He can just literally farm her. So this is another reason that Arthas ended up getting picked in the draft. Yesterday, we were a little bit confused on stream. I was like, why exactly is that happening? This is why. Arthas actually farms Kerrigan in the offlane. So you cannot play aggressively. She is not. Absolutely not. Her numbers are too low now. But she's still a very good hero. Kerrigan, you know, she apparently can offlane. You, at least pros are using her that way. You put her as a 4-man and flex, and you put her as a flex in the 4-man. She has enough wave clear. She can do camps. Not a bad hero by any stretch of the imagination. Ryu is going to go down here again. We just want to watch how this happens. Once you're in that Arthasy, you're basically dead. So, unlucky, really. Oh, wow. I would do a going alone of this, guys, but I think we all see what happens. You just you just need to not ever do anything, and it's a pretty simple matchup outside of that. Ishbu with the Unstoppable. Ishbu's actually going to have a lot of Unstoppable dodges this game. Again, these low ping environments, it's much easier to react as Johanna to the switches. You can actually be reactive instead of predictive with using your D to dodge Stitches hooks. So beautiful work there. McIntyre just dropping his gems, getting that free gem drop. 23 gems to 32 turned in. Already a significant disadvantage. We're going to need Mindfreak to actually start picking up their gems. Every time you don't pick up gems on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you're essentially not doing the objective, which is unfortunate. So people always say that objectives are, the most important thing in Heroes of the Storm. That's not true, but in this case, if you think objectives are important, remember every time you're not clearing waves on Tomb, you're not picking up gems, you're essentially not doing the objective. And so far, Mindfreak is done like a third of the objective that Heroes Hearth Esports has done. So, talent overlay, please. Oh, there you go. Sorry, guys. Pop that up for you. A little unusual pick at 4. We actually see Dust of Appearance for Medivh. This does give you some vision advantage, but Medivh already has a vision advantage, and you're not going to get the Raven Familiar for the extra burst plus slow, which is usually the talent you just always take. So I'm actually very surprised to see that. Pretty standard otherwise. We have seen a lot of Eternal Hunger out of Arthas so far this tournament. It was buffed. D was buffed directly, and then Eternal Hunger was buffed as a result, so everything about D is a little bit better for Arthas. Wouldn't be surprised to see more of it. I don't know if it's actually good or if it's just the new hotness. I actually will be doing some detailed replay analysis to sort of evaluate that for myself. Sins Exposed picked up at level 4 for Johanna, increasing Ishbu's wave clear even further. But HHE getting that first turn in very easily, honestly. McIntyre getting hooked here. I would be amazed if he lives, and in fact he does not. That is the first of many hooks that will have to result in kills. I have a personal definition of what I call a successful hook. In my mind, a hook is not successful just because it hits. A hook is only successful if it kills someone or saves someone on your team from dying. We're talking about helping hand, or you're using hook as a peel mechanic due to an awkward positional fight. So, 4 minutes into the game, we've thrown probably over 10 hooks at this point. That's maybe 11. And we've had one successful hook. This is not a good success ratio for a professional Stitches player. So, not good so far. But one successful hook is better than none. HHE, because their lanes were pushed in, because they prioritize wave clear over everything else, they're making sure that the lanes are always shoved more than anything else. They're going to get a huge amount of value out of this first turn-in. They have part of mid wall, they have all of top wall. Bottom wall is going to take some damage as well. Mindfreak doing a full 5-man rotation to look for this fight. Portals in, does not have Raven Familiar, and as a result, no one dies. Also, this is not the correct character in level 1. It's just not. Just putting that out there. Especially, you need the wave clear from Fury of the Swarm. Regardless of what map you're on, you always need wave clear. So, interesting decision so far across the board. Arcane Explosion, standard. People have been experimenting with other talents at level 7 for Medivh ever since Arcane Explosion was nerfed, and no one seems to be able to do better with the talents of Arcane Explosion. Rich will occasionally take other talents on Medivh in Hero League, but he acknowledges that he's trolling. He doesn't actually think those talents are good. They're better at 1v1ing. So, unlucky, really. This is going to be Boundless Fury. Hitting in here with Ravage grants a charge of Ravage, can only occur once every 10 seconds per hero, allows you to knock around. Several pro players have actually told me that they think this talent is really good. Michael Udall, who, of course, is a carry Gan from way back, says he really likes the outplay potential, but having your combo up less often can be a significant detriment, not going Bladed Momentum. Although he also didn't go Fury of the Swarm, so. One of the things that I personally love about the HHC finals, about these tournaments, especially with a lot of new heroes or a lot of reworked heroes coming into the tournament together, is we get to see a lot of different approaches to different talents. But at the end of the tournament, the interesting thing that always happens in my mind is by the end of a tournament, we usually see pros just agreeing that some talents are a little bit stronger, a little bit better than others. Crone actually using the minion wave to dodge that hook there. Again, in these low ping environments, stuff like this is so incredibly common. Getting the Death Dealer resets on the minion wave. Crone just styling on the minion wave. Actually does matter. If you have Death Dealer, you have this reset at level 7. You can actually constantly be vaulting, attacking, vaulting, attacking, vaulting, attacking. Vaulting replaces your stutter stepping when you have a low minion wave nearby. And that means that anyone who tries to hit you with anything is going to miss. Beautiful counter engage off the hook here. We do see the Blessed Shield coming in and the stun. John is 100% dead here. That did not get to the portal in time. And Fat94 will end up going down as well, even though he did get to the portal in time. And HHE has decided that they're already on this camp, so may as well get it. There you go. Death Dealer W4? Yeah. Punishment's still fine. For actually many years, the reason Punishment was never a popular talent without full W was because Punishment for a long time was actually bugged to give only half of the bonus that it was supposed to. So Punishment now is just a good talent by itself, no matter what. And as HHE opens up the map, the threat of the Kidnap combo, even though Mindfreak is now at G10, is going to be lower and lower and lower. Both teams have turn-in, but it looks like they will be able to get it bottom. McIntyre getting those last few gems in. And HHE has a really important decision to make here. Do they want to completely open up the map and try to get both forts with this turn-in? They can potentially get both forts with this turn-in, but if they do it, they have to make sure that they're split, which means Mindfreak can go all 5 in one lane and potentially try to force a 5v4. And if they do that, they will save a fort no matter what, assuming they execute it correctly. Ishbu got the D off, just spamming that key. That is going to be hooked down, and just to check here, looks like Innervate was not immediately used on Stitches, but Ishbu actually walks up and dies. Horrify even burned to make this happen. If you're a Malfurion Stitches combo, by the way, Innervate should be going onto the Stitches after every single hook if it's available to get the hook back faster. Pro players will keep track of Hook's cooldown. and having it back up a little bit faster can throw them off. A second or two actually does make a difference. Kerrigan ends up going down to Starful, so end up trading 1 for 1. HHE will be back. Huge Twilight Dream, actually. Wow, so much damage, but unfortunately no damage cooldowns available from the rest of the team to follow up and take advantage of that momentary lapse of ability to push buttons. But bottom fort will end up going down. Mid fort is mid wall actually taking some damage here. Gorge is going to be up in 10 seconds, so they do have a brief opportunity where they could push if they decided to do that, but McIntyre is going to rotate for Soak and Gems instead. Again, just doing the objective, making sure they're picking up the gems. And HHE backing up collectively. Mindfreak is actually in an interesting position now where they could do something that I've seen very few times in pro play. If the enemy team does not have a turn-in and you're down experience, especially for their combo, it actually would be better for them to soak out of range of the minion wave, out of vision range, just mounted, and not clear. Because as they clear, they're actually pushing gems towards HHE, and they're making it so that their distance to do the kidnap comp is actually much further. Oh, as a beautiful hook, as I say that a beautiful hook comes down onto Crone, he actually gets hit by it out of vision. He should end up going down here. Nice Kerrigan combo. Crone actually does end up going down. Some gems lost there and some gems gained for Mindfreak. Now that they have a numbers advantage, they can potentially do so much work here. Oh, another hook, but that's on a Tassadar, and without the kidnap combo fully available, Hami will just be able to E away. Ryo is extremely low. He just needs to back up. I think he actually might have almost died to Crone's Vala there. During that kidnap combo. HHE going to go for that one reveal and then immediately back up. He knows he's visible now, and it's no longer safe for him to be there. I've kept Malf selected, but I don't know if I've seen Malf innervate after hook even one time. We're going to deselect that there. Nice trick. And Mindfreak, rather than proactively trying to push lanes and get a structure advantage, Skeet70, thank you for the follow, is actually going to go bottom and clear the Siege Giants. This is just a terrible decision from them. They've essentially wasted their entire turn-in at this point. Mid is going to be cleared 100% for free. Nothing is going to happen here. Notice that the Crone is staying on this side of the minions. And Johanna covering this other choke does get the D off reactively again. Again, nice play by HHE. And top already starting to be cleared and anchored, and even with this portal rotation, nice root coming out of McIntyre on the portal itself. Roots are very good counters to portals. They really negate a significant amount of the value. Area CC in general that has a relatively low cooldown can do a lot against portal. Engages, you can just never get off the engages the way you want them to. And so bottom is going to get some value here. It ended up getting the front wall. It does need to be actively cleared. But now they've just essentially pushed out the lanes in such a way. They pushed out the lanes with their turn-in. It got a value. They've shoved a bunch of gems towards HHE. HHE will now be able to pick up all these gems for free. They've shoved a bunch of experience for HHE, who are already ahead in experience. Mindfreak now trying to push and get some structure damage. And again, leaving the gems behind. Not doing the objective. Not doing the objective. This is very unlucky. This is what we call unlucky. Tiberian is now following. Thank you for the follow. Again, a kidnap combo, but not into towers. They were so far out on the map, and HHE does not actually end up dying here, unfortunately, even though he does get feared away. Vanilla, very low, does manage to get away. So they managed to escape with their hides intact, but only one gem needed for turning in for HHE, which they will now go do. And blind hook, hoping, praying. They do need to force this fight while they can. They opt not to do so because they are at a cooldown disadvantage with that Horrify, which I'm okay with, but at the same time, there's no way that HHE does not get 16 and push to potentially end here. HHE at a minimum should be able to secure multiple keeps here. The multiple keeps will get them an experience interval where they can get 20 first. And then they can end the game with 20. So Mindfreak had one moment there where they really needed to fight, and they just chose not to do so because of the cooldown disadvantage, but they're not going to be in a better position at any point later in the game unless they can just get a huge Gorge play here. But minions, web weavers, whatever those things are, it's another field. Is so much to do. And again, we did actually innovate after the hook that time. Excellent. But Medivh ends up going down in this fight. Nice helping hand. Beautiful hook there, actually. Mad Hax is going to live entirely because of that. Raw Lunar Flare tries to finish him off, but it's not enough. That was a great hook from Fat94. Horrify ends up whiffing, unfortunately. We are going to have a ton of damage going on to Crone, but he has a Tassadar. And the Death Dealer reset actually gets him a hero kill reset there. Almost got him a kill into Mad Hax. He was one shot away, I think. And that's going to be mid keep going down. Bottom keep should go down here as well. Top keep is already down. That should be the game for Heroes Hearth Esports. Nicely done.